Hello, lovely friends. We are here today with a pick a card reading. This reading is going to be tapping into your higher self. And we're going to find 3 messages that your higher self currently has for you. So there's 4 piles here, and you're going to take some time, spend some time with it. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to sort of meditate on the stones and feel which one is drawing to you. You can have more than one, and it's also possible, you want to look for confirmations in a reading, and if you don't find that, it's probably not for you. Sometimes there's just not a message for somebody. So not necessarily the stone you like best, but something that you're feeling pulled towards. So in this first pile, we have calcite. Pile 2 is amethyst. Pile 3 is selenite. And pile 4 is a Lemurian quartz. Okay, so I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to tap into your pile of choice. If you need more time than that, then feel free to pause the video. Okay, hello pile 1. If you chose this pile, you chose the calcite pile. Now, before even jumping into this reading, there's just some things I wanted to note that I feel like will probably come up in the reading or that should be incorporated right at the start. I always like to pay attention to the energy of the cards and the energy. I kind of open my body up a little bit when I'm shuffling, and also kind of looking at the symbolism of this stone. So there was so much nervous energy in me with this pile, and it was like I shuffled and shuffled, and I was like frantic and just trying to get the cards. And I know that this stone has a deep connection with sort of psychic abilities, and it just kind of brought to mind to me, we'll see what the cards say, but that there's this big movement right now about talking about resilience and developing resilience. But there's another side to that. There's some things in this world that are a little bit more sensitive. And if we made them more resilient, they wouldn't be quite as beautiful. And so I'm feeling for you like you really need to honor your sensitivity and not beat yourself up about being a resilient person or not. Maybe you're trying too hard to be resilient, or maybe you've always you've trained yourself to be resilient, but maybe like actually you're a very sensitive person and you need to tend to that more than your resilience. And so instead of developing a toughness and a strength, developing practices around protection, developing practices around recuperation and recovery, which I know, that depends on your operational use of resilience. That could be recovery too, but just really being honest about your sensitivity and how beautiful that is. There are studies that people who are more sensitive, yes, they are affected more in negative scenarios, but they get the best benefits when they are in the right environments. So that's something also to consider, is putting yourself in really positive environments, because that sensitivity really blossoms into, it's called the orchid children. The dandelions are resilient and the orchids are sensitive, and they have the worst and the best life outcomes depending on the environments they put themselves in. So just being really aware of your environments and honoring of your sensitivity is what I'm feeling initially. Okay, so first we are going to flip over just some oracle cards to get a general tone. And then I have some tarot, 3 different tarots with 3 different messages for you that I'll add on to with a few more tarot as we go. Okay, so we have the the sacral chakra. So this is all about, to me, this is a sensitivity thing. Our sacral chakra is our water chakra, our flow, our creativity, our deep femininity. So for you, you're either currently really tapped into this, or this is something you need to work on a little bit more, or focus on at least, is returning to your gut instinct, returning to what lights you up from that deep guttural place, and moving with your body, letting your body be fluid, letting your body be sensitive. Just getting into trying to find things that put you in a flow, being around water. I just wanted to see, exactly. So self-love is what this says. Practicing a lot of tenderness, a lot of self-love, because you're very sensitive. And I really think that especially females are quite sensitive in the sacral chakra. There's a lot of female woundedness in the sacral chakra. So just like honoring the power of the feminine, honoring the power of things like psychic ability, things like intuition, that those things deserve respect, those things deserve value, and nurturing them, tending to them. Okay, let's look at your 3 messages that came up. Okay, first message. Okay, so this I want to tie back to the whole environmental, like putting yourself around positive environments. This indicates you may be, whether it's at work or just like people you're consistently around in your life. It could be siblings, it could be peers, but it feels a little bit more like work to me. There's something in this environment that you have a deep attachment to that's maybe not so healthy for your sensitivity. Maybe it's very competitive, maybe it's requiring you to put emphasis on developing that toughness and that resilience. And I just want to say that even though there's maybe something that's really intoxicating and desirable about this place, it will serve you and your energy and your ability to positively collaborate with others if you honor that you are the sensitive person in this crowd, and that you use that as a strength. Okay, I want to pull, let's see, one more card, a card or two. A little bit. Okay, Spirit, what else do we need to know about this situation? Okay, retreat. Okay, this is telling you that this might be something you need to consider obviously check into your own intuition, your own circumstances, uh, confer with trusted loved ones. But there might be something here that just is not working, that is just not suiting who you truly are. Your authentic, deepest sense of self is like feeling trapped or chained. And it might be time to, even though you may not know where a next step is, I feel like you might be kind of at the depths of something, of feeling just the exhaustion of this situation. And the upside of this is deep understanding coming through about who you truly are. And so even though you may not know what comes next, you know what doesn't come next. You know what you won't do again. So even if the timing isn't right for this walking away, just observe this, be observant of whatever kind of group scenario you're in, especially if it's work, if it's really tending to this deepest sense of your, who you are as a sensitive person, if it's using your amazing, beautiful gifts correctly. If you can't be seen in this scenario, it's time to start looking for a different kind of situation, whatever this environment is to you. Okay, let's look at the second story coming through here that your higher self would like to talk about. Okay. Yeah, I almost don't feel like it's super. I almost feel like Spirit is like, we're not done with this. Let's keep talking about it. There's another layer that, it may relate to this, but it may extend a little bit further into your life. That you may have been brought up in an environment that created certain norms in you that aren't aligned to who you are. And you're realizing this. These deep understandings are coming through. And with the psychic ability showing, like, really pay attention to synchronicities, work with tarot on your own or oracle cards, journal, whatever it is you can do to kind of reflect, because you're right at this precipice of like, and you might already be there, of like realizing, oh wow, what I have normalized, the culture I was brought up in, it did not serve who I was, who my authentic person is. And you're coming into a new chapter. You're leaving the past, you're leaving who you were, you're leaving. There could even be some difficulties with, like, it's always hard when we have to, I don't know if you're even like leaving certain religious situations or something that has deep culture or deep conditioning, deep expectations, norms. It can be really hard to detangle. So give yourself some grace, tap back into that self-love. Continue to feel your body and the flow and what it wants to do, because you are coming to a threshold of fives, one of the symbolisms. So this is the 5 of Wands that's paired here. And one thing that this can indicate is the point of no return. So there's no return here. There's some situation that is a point of no return. You've gained a deep understanding, but you're probably exhausted about it. But the 5s are still going to put some torque on you, some pressure on you in terms of creative ideas you have, work projects, kind of recreational things you might want to surround yourself with. There's a lot of challenges and conflicts going on right here, because it's creating some torque in you that's really igniting your spirit to find that motivation and that drive to push on. So conflict can be a really good thing, especially when we have to make some hard decisions or recognize like we're leaving a chapter that might, I don't know, for some of you this might be an exciting chapter to leave, and this may not be as difficult as I'm feeling it to be. But I did still feel this nervousness when I was shuffling the deck. So it might be that you have these deep realizations, you know it, but you just don't know what's next, and you don't know how to find that next path, and just tap into that self-love and push into these challenges. They really are igniting your spirit, which is the thing that can really bring new experiences and new dynamic scenarios in your life that this is the card that fell down. Okay, I love seeing this. So energy is coming. That's what I was like. You are right on the cusp of this new path. I feel like you've let go. I feel like you've had these deep realizations, and you just don't quite know what's next, but it is so close. And so push into your challenges, push into conflicts, not in terms of like stirring up conflicts, but like face them and let them communicate to you what's not serving you anymore. Because so much energy is coming, some new project, a new job offer, a new idea of what you want to do in the world. Just, I don't know, some new passion is right there. Sometimes those new doors don't come until we fully close the old ones. So keep that in mind. And obviously, again, keep your own intuition in mind in terms of right timing and what's right for your circumstances. This is a general reading, so there's so many, for this pile, there's so many different circumstances. So you need to tap into timing for you. Okay, let's look at the third pile. Okay, yes, exactly. Well, I feel like we just have a story here. It's not three separate things, which doesn't shock me. But the Wheel of Fortune we've got in this last pile, and that always indicates fate is coming in, destiny is coming in, but not in a way that we have the control. A circumstance is, it may be like the energy you've put into things creates new circumstances, but this isn't one in appearance that this new circumstance coming isn't one that you necessarily made an intention for and worked hard for, but there is a change coming, and it might be a reflection of your own inner energy, but you can't really imagine. There's no way to tell what this is. You can't imagine what this is. It's probably not anything you have in mind right now, but a new chapter is about to arrive. And because this is the third pile, I feel like this is a progression. I feel like you are right on this cusp of letting some things go. Once you do this, once you find the right time and it feels right to you, there is this new passion that sparks in you, and that brings a completely new chapter. Maybe it's even like a move, or it could be a new job, a move, a new love, who knows, but something that's really going to shake up your life in a totally different way because you've gained this deep understanding. And then with the Seven of Wands, this doesn't shock me at all, and it's going to be a tough thing likely for a lot of you, is when we have these new deep understandings about who we are, and we realize we have to draw different kinds of boundaries with different kinds of people, or we might need to cut certain things out of our lives, people react, and this is what's going on here. There are going to be some people that react to this, and you just need to stand strong. You know what's best for you. Just expect that there are going to be reactions, and for some people, it's not necessarily that you need to cut them out of your life. They've just had certain ways of interacting with you or expectations around you. So for some people, you just might need to give them a chance to realize that you have changed, and they'll come around to support that. For some people, they're not going to like this and they're going to try and beat you down. And those are the either scenarios or people that it's time to just, no more. Okay, so Spirit, let's get a little bit more information about this new chapter and maybe this reaction from people. Anything else you can give us about this? And I just want to say, this is coming from your higher self too. So you have a lot more information than I do that you have the capability of tapping into. There's a lot of YouTube like guided meditations for tapping into your higher self. So I recommend doing some of those too. Hierophants. Okay, to me this feels like, okay, this could be two different scenarios, and I'll let you, you will know which one is right for you. But you're either leaving a very traditional, very rigid kind of environment or way of being or way of surrounding yourself in circumstances that are very traditional and buttoned up, and needing to, you may not know what that new chapter is, but it's going to allow you to tap into this more fluid, sensitive, emergent, spontaneous, maybe, I don't know if I'm going to say rebellious. I don't see a lot of rebellion here, but just, being allowed to be your sensitive self and different. Or you could be coming into a place where you, because of your deep, absorption of kind of psychic type information, this could be indicating that you're gaining more command over this and more ability to put boundaries around it and routines and structures and rhythms around it to help it not leak into your life when you don't want it to, and to utilize it in powerful ways when you do want it to. This could be both, or it could be one or the other, but that's sort of what I'm seeing. So this is your reading, pile 1. Most of all, I really feel like this self-love and honoring your sensitivity is the biggest thing that is coming through for me. And the more you do that, the more aligned this new chapter and this new passion coming through will be. All right, thank you, pile 1. Hello, pile 2. If you picked this pile, you picked the amethyst. And before I get into your cards, I just wanted to say a few things about what I was feeling in shuffling your cards, along with maybe some symbolism of this stone integrated as well, which I think kind of is the undertone of things going on in your reading. So I think that your higher self is really coming into its own in terms of feeling heard and being valued for the wisdom it has. I felt so calm and steady and sort of not like controlled, but sort of like, in control of things. And I know that amethyst has a deep connection to wisdom. So, sometimes with a draw, I might get the feeling of like you need to really work on, like you have this deep wisdom association, but you need to work on this. For you, I feel like you're really coming into fruition with it. You're really getting it. So congratulations on that. Yeah, and I just felt so like, I don't know, I'm excited to see your cards. Hopefully, there's some good things ahead. If not, I feel like you've got this strength. You've got something in you that's ready to take on whatever. You've got it, you know. Okay, so we're gonna do your a couple oracle cards first, sort of again as like an overarching energy, and then I'm going to get into these 3 different stories with your tarot cards, 3 different messages. In the last pile, they all connected. We'll see what happens with yours, but let's look at these first. Okay. Yeah, this is exactly. The Weaver is all about, so I know sometimes the sheen on this, it's hard to see. It says the Weaver. This is all about being very aware of all of the different threads of life that you have at your disposal, that you've created, and this readiness to start weaving these together into something beautiful. So really tapping into your higher self, the wisdom you have, you've really developed something and you're ready to weave something beautiful into existence. And the Booty, this is again, just like really having this deep inner knowing of who you are, of this calm, still place within that you know you can drop into when needed, that has the answers. Like, to me, this is like the epitome of the wisdom matched with the higher self. Like, you know how to get to your still place that has the answers, and you've got all the threads ready to go to really build something in your life. So yay, that's what I was sort of sensing we would see. So let's look at your tarot, the 3 different messages, and then for each message I'm going to flip another tarot to get a little bit more info on it. So, ooh, okay. I actually did not expect this, but I think this is fabulous. You may have just barely started out on something new, a new job, a new passion, school, maybe you've moved, a new relationship, something. There's some new chapter where you are just taking in this new environment. And what I love about this new beginning is sometimes we can, when this is really the Fool card. Sometimes with the Fool card, we jump in to something without any know-how, without any, expectations, and we can really charge into new chapters sometimes a bit naive. But we've seen that you've got this deep wisdom. So even though she's naked, which can indicate sort of this naivety and not quite knowing what you're doing, you have such this deep inner resource. You don't need outside stuff. You have such a deep command of what you want internally, what your higher self needs, and you're just you've got everything you need within you. That's so beautiful. And the Chariot is just saying, like, yeah, because of this, because you don't have any confusion or outside baggage, things you're bringing in, not knowing of who you are or what you're doing, this is going to be, you're going to charge into this really quickly and easily. So yay, wow, this is a great reading. I wish I was getting this reading. Okay, so let's see, Spirit, what else can you tell us about this message from higher self? Ooh. Okay, that's too many cards. We're not going to take any of those. Okay, just one card. Okay, 10 of Discs. Yeah, so this new path you're going on, it's like you're so aligned, you know exactly what you need, what you want to do. You have a very strong focus. Like I wouldn't be surprised if you're a Capricorn or have 10th house stuff or Saturn stuff going on. You know your target. There's not Look at her. She's looking straight ahead. There's no distractions. And this indicates like you're really going to be laying a foundation that is going to create some deep stability, not only for you, but potentially for generations to come, if that's interesting to you. If not, it's just like a really amazing foundation for your life and people who share it with you. So that is really, really amazing. Okay, so the next two cards we've got for you, High Priestess and Perspective. Okay, I mean, it couldn't be any more clear to me. The High Priestess is this wisdom, is this deep connection to our internal gauge of what's right and what's wrong, and this willingness to look at that, and make decisions through our highest compass. And so this indicates that, to me, that you are making very wise decisions in whatever you're setting out on right now. And that you are taking the time. If you are not, do take some time. Go slowly. In terms of, things are going to go fast, but in terms of making decisions and weighing what's aligned for you and what's harmonious with your vibration, take some time to analyze your perspectives, to get perspectives of others. That will be a really great tool as you go, is to check your perspectives, to check in with others, to really try to flip your perspectives on their head. To me, that's what this is really, the Hanged Man. And I feel like that's what this card is saying in this circumstance, is that this is a tool for you, is perspective, and that you need to take time with each step in your goal to flip perspectives, to look at different perspectives, and to use that in navigation. Okay, let's get one more card about this message from your higher self. Spirit, just one card, please. Your reading is going so fast, it's just like so straightforward to me. I might draw a goddess card for you then, because we're going to have a little extra time. Yeah, I feel like this is Spirit confirming what I just said about perspective, and confirming that you have what you need within you, and you have the wisdom and command of what's right and aligned and good. And you know, like the High Priestess helps us make choices that when it comes to reaping our karma, will bring good karma, versus like the judgment saying you went off track here. So yeah, I feel like this is confirming like you really need to tap into that deep wisdom you've got within you, the booty, the amethyst. Keep attached to that, keep checking in with it. Take time with flipping perspectives, and take time with introspection. So this is just, to me, just like basically a confirmation. And this is the Prince of Cups, and so I feel like there might be, like, you have a deep well, emotional well that you probably like to share, and that I don't know, brings I don't know, just like really beautiful things your way. So, okay, let's look at this last piece of information from your higher self. Queen of Swords. It does, yeah, completely. Look at the sword here, the sword here, the sword here. It's like one sword, clarity. You know what you want. Um, so Queen of Swords, yeah, I don't know if, you know, if you're an entrepreneur or doing something where you can be your own boss, um, or if you just have like a really strong mind, not only in your wisdom and your internal compass and guide and inner alignment, but like intellect wise. Your intellect and your intuition are really, really connected, and it gives you a lot of clarity. And I think that this is going to bring, you know, like it's gonna bring this beautiful 10 of discs. Like people are gonna look up to you. If they don't already, they probably already do. You probably know all this about yourself. I don't know why you're here. But just confirmation, maybe you've got everything you need at your disposal. You're so in command. I already felt it when I was shuffling. Okay, let's get one more card from Spirit. Oh, okay. So fears. That actually surprised me showing up. Okay, so I guess one piece of advice that Spirit is saying is, even though you have the wisdom, you have the intellect, you have the command to take charge of everything, that doesn't mean that you should. Don't put more on your plate than you need to. I feel like this is a warning. You may not actually be in this. This is sort of like anxiety and insomnia and, you know, maybe not literally nightmares, but kind of that like inability to rest because you've got so much going on. But you know, with this booty, how to get to your calm place. Check your inner guide, your wisdom, about how much you're putting on your plate, how much you can hold, how much you're willing to hold, and recognizing when anxiety starts and that's a boundary for you. The minute the anxiety creates insomnia issues for you, that's time to draw the line in terms of what's on your plate or what you are responsible for. If this is where you are right now, the reason I don't feel like it's right now is this, you know, I feel like you've just begun something, which I guess sometimes, you know, when you start, there's so many things to get through. And that could be it. Like you're just starting and there's so much to think about. If that's what it is, don't worry. You are so thorough. You've got your plans. You know, just, you know, at the end of the day, write down your list of what you need to do tomorrow and check it at the door. And you've got this. Don't worry. Okay. All right. I'm going to draw a goddess card for you, which I did not do for the others, but we kind of cruised through yours, and I feel like, I don't know, I just felt like the goddesses were like, they want in on this. So which goddess can you, is making themselves available to you as a source? Maybe let's call on one as a source to help you understand your boundaries around any anxieties, around what's on your plate, whether what you're willing to put on your plate or what you're, you know, needing to kind of create some boundaries about when and how you think about all the things. Okay. Persephone. I know this says inexperience, but I feel like in the book it talks a lot more about her just willingness to live with the seasons and cycles of life. And this might just be your way of understanding that there are times when you can put more on your plate, and there are times that you need to let yourself rest. So to like really understand your personal cycles and see the seasons and rhythms, and like paying attention to, in summer, do I have more energy or do I need more rest? Do I need to take vacations? Just kind of that checking in with your rhythms. And I feel like you can call on her for a little bit of help, or for her to kind of create a distraction for you when she needs to get your attention about this. Okay, so pile 2, beautiful reading. I'm excited. Please leave comments of what you're doing. I'm interested. Okay, but that's where I'm going to leave you, and have a good rest of your day. Hello, pile 3. If you picked this pile, you picked the selenite. So before I get into the cards, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the energy I felt when I was drawing your cards, your pile, as well as infuse a little bit of symbolism about this stone. So selenite really has a very open energy in order to help us kind of purify and clear out, things deep within us, to help us reflect, to help us see the truth of what's really happening inside of us, what we need, what circumstances are bright for us and not, how they're affecting us. And I feel like, with this being a general reading, all of the other piles were a lot more clear in terms of the energy I had when I was shuffling, and this one was, I feel like with the general read that there are going to be maybe a diverse array of people who chose this pile that all have this energy around them of openness. So for some of you, you need to tap into this more. You might be closed off and making a lot of false starts in your life because you're not paying attention to the truth of either a situation or who you are or something. And for others of you, this openness has really served you well. And I feel like it might be a difference even in age. There might be some older readers that have really understood how to check in with themselves, how to self-care, how to be honest with themselves. And I feel like there might be, it may not have to do with age, I'm just saying. And then there might be some younger people who are just learning how to do this. But I kind of got this like dual energy, or maybe you're someone that kind of vacillates between really being open and honest with yourself and then sometimes completely forgetting that you need to check in, and that you have really bad boundaries, and this openness kind of creates some weird start-stop scenarios in your life. I don't know. I feel like there's going to be a lot of different stories going on in this pile, so it might take a little longer. We'll see. Okay, so jumping into your cards, first off, I'm going to do 2 oracle cards to kind of get a general feel for what your higher self has to say right now. And then there's 3 things that your higher self has to say as well. And in the first 2 piles, especially the first pile, it was really like one kind of story. They were saying a lot. I mean, they weren't saying the same things, but they kind of related a little bit in the second one. So we'll see what happens here. These could be very, I feel like this pile, they might be like really separate messages, just because I feel like there's a lot of different, there's a variety of people here. So I think we might have pretty separate messages. Anyway, let's start with your oracle cards. Okay, love and sattva. Okay, so I'm going to talk about love for a second because I need to look up sattva. These cards are new, and I'm like, I thought I knew most of these, but this one is. So I love for selenite. This is just a love bug stone, and there is love bug energy here. When you have this ability to be really open, I do think that that requires someone who has a very big heart, and people who are really willing to look at the truth of who they are and of their circumstances. That takes so much strength from the quality of love. And so I just think that this is, whatever your circumstance is, I think you have so much access to love. So either congratulations for using that well, or this is a time, this is the check from your higher self that this is where your higher self always wants to come from, is from love. Okay, so this Sattva card, I know as soon as I flip to this page, I'm going to be like, oh, right, okay. Purity and clarity. Oh, okay, of course. You have let go of the things that were holding you back and are reaching deeper levels of clarity. Maybe you've cleaned up your diet, home, self-care products, relationships, thought patterns, career goals, or life outlook, and are now experiencing the joys that come with purity. Sattva. The space you have created is allowing greater gifts that are more aligned with your truth to present themselves. Continue on this path towards clarity by shedding all that is no longer serving you. When your body becomes pure, your thoughts and life will reflect that. Bring sattva, purity, into all that you do, and your path will continue to become more clear. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense to me, and it couldn't be a better card to pull for the selenite. Yeah, a lot of work is being done by this group in terms of like really clarifying, really using your heart, which is like our highest, there's more connections from our heart to our brain than our brain to our heart. So this is the command center, and a lot of times people don't listen to it, but you're doing this. Either you're really doing this or you're just getting there and starting it, but it's a beautiful thing. It's bringing a lot of beautiful clarity and purity and truth into your life. So that's kind of the overarching theme that Spirit wants us to focus on here. So let's look at this first message, and then we'll pull another card to get any clarifications needed. Okay, so we've got 7 of Discs, which is perseverance in this card. I actually really like the 7 of Discs. I know perseverance can sound a little scary, but this is sort of like, tying it into what we've said up top here about your heart and clarity and finding your honesty. I feel like you've done a lot of work. You've had a lot of perseverance in that, and it's either has put you on or is putting you on a path that is more materially and physically beautiful for you. This could be financial, it could be your body, it could be just your surroundings, but it's starting to line up a lot better for you because you've been, or it will, because of this focus and attention to open work with your heart. The moon in reverse, I actually don't find this scary. So the moon has a lot to do with our intuition and imagination. And this just says to me that a lot of you have been really down in the trenches with this. Could be even maybe a little bit stuck here. But you'll know when it's time to come out of this. I don't think it's quite time to come out of this sort of like reflection period. But know that the work you're doing here, even if some of you feel like you're stuck with that, it is bringing results. So just pay attention to the little things about how your physical environment is kind of readjusting or doing new interesting things and repatterning. It's subtle right now because you're kind of like in inner places at the moment, but take time each day to notice something in your physical environment and do something with the physical environment and working with valuing. I feel like this could, like the discs is the pentacles, so like there can be a connection to self-love here, self-worth, well, self-love too, but like self-worth, like using your intuition to understand your value, connecting your intuition and heart to understanding what's super valuable in you. And it's like it's redoing something about your physical life. And 7 also to me has a lot to do with faith. And so have faith, even though you may not like really, really clearly be able to see this yet, things are realigning. So trust the process, guys. That's what I'm going to say. Oh, before I do the next pile, let's get one more card from Spirit about what it has to offer your higher self about this message. Okay, can we get one card, please, Spirit, about pile 3's? No, not 3 cards, 1 card. It wants to talk. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, yes. It's just confirming here. So it's the Hermit upside down. It's just saying you are in the process. You're getting there. You're doing so much work right now. And you're really, it's like you're rewiring your heart and your intuition to be so much more predominant and be so much more of a guide than your mind is. Like you're rewiring to let this be the leader over the mind. And it's taking time. You're down in the trenches with this. You're really understanding and working with intuition, or you should be. If you aren't, this is saying you should be. And this is saying that you're also using a lot of instinct. You're figuring this out for yourself, which that can be really a beautiful thing. The Hermit likes to figure things out without teachers and advice and anything or anyone weighing in, because it wants to find it in the most pure form, the information it's looking for, unadulterated, contaminated. So, this might be a little bit of a solitary time, and that's okay. You're doing some really deep work, or will about to be. That sounded weird. I didn't say that right. But anyway, you know what I mean. Okay, second message here. Okay, so Prince of Swords, determination, and then 2 of Cups, union. Okay, so I really feel like this is another message about mind and heart. So we've got the Swords, which is air, and the Cups, which is emotions or heart. And I feel like you've tapped into your yang side, your masculine side. I don't care if you're male, female, they, but you've tapped into your male side, and you have, or you are working on this, or should work on it. Your higher self is saying that this should be worked on. Persuaded it to submit to the feminine. And so there's this union. It's in process. It hasn't, like, you're working on bringing this yin yang. If we turn this right side up, you've got the male and the female, and this is about the heart. So the heart wants to take the lead. You've persuaded. The heart is in process, or your higher self is telling you to negotiate this with your yang side of, like, letting the feminine take the lead. It's the stronger quality within you. Not that the yang isn't, but it at least at this point in your life, it wants to take the lead, and some work needs to be done in rewiring this to happen. And it's in process. Those 2 of Cups upside down, it's, you're working on it, or higher self is telling you to work on it. So again, this is sort of a continuation actually, but I do think that the story is varied in terms of how far in people are, or if this is like a new message of like, oh, that's what that niggling's been about. Okay, I am feeling that I need to do this work. That feels accurate to me, or I've been in this place but I didn't know what it was about. So it might, there's a spectrum of what's going on here, but I do feel like the story is coherent in terms of like the progression here. Whoops. I'm going to take this first Princess of Wands that jumped out. Okay, oops. Exploration. I feel like this is like internal exploration versus external exploration. So I feel like this is almost like a different expression of this hermit here. But it's telling you to be more active, more curious, more intrigued by specifically your yin-yang sides and how they relate, how they integrate, how they help each other, which one's sort of in the lead, what's that relationship like, and how can you make it really harmonious. Oh, my words today. This is saying get curious, explore this. You don't need to know these answers. You just need to be curious. Your heart, if you check in with it, will kind of lead you to the right information that you need for you, which I think is going to be a little different for everyone here. But it's going to plant new value in you around trusting your passions in life. Maybe you've had a hard time like lately finding what your passion is or what your direction is, and this will really help that. Okay, let's look at your third pile. Okay, beautiful. Queen of Discs and Two of Discs. Wow, all of this like emotional and heart and cups work to me is like really doing something with your material world, whether that's financial, body, material. The Queen here is even pregnant, maybe family-wise. But something about all of this deep, deep work you're doing, that kind of rewiring how aspects of yourself relate, how aspects of yourself are differently in command than they used to be, honoring different parts of yourself in different ways. It's really changing the physical aspect of your life. It could be different for everyone, or it could be all of these things. A lot of times they're all connected. So your financial life, your body, your environment. I want to say your home with the Queen of Discs, how you connect to nature, the natural world. You may have this craving to be out in the country a little more right now. And this Two of Discs, there could be some choices coming up. But the more balanced and integrated you are with head and heart, intuition, kind of taking a front seat, the more you're going to really know your right choices and directions and what you want to balance in life. Let's get some more information about this. What this specifically, I'm curious about this change, this Two of Discs. Oh, that wanted to come out. This may be something you have some anxiety about, actually. You may be weighing a choice or some choices, or you may just be a little bit, lost right now and not really sure of your path, and that's giving you a little bit of anxiety. And I say, don't worry. You have to have faith. This Seven of Discs, I really think that being the first card, that is like a really strong message. Like, have faith that all this work you're doing is going to lead you to a really beautiful, aligned path. So finding a little bit of faith, finding trust, relaxing into this inner exploration. It's okay. That's where you're supposed to be right now. Don't get anxious about that. Like you're not making progress or you don't know what you're supposed to be doing. That's what you're supposed to be doing. So do that. That is your step. That is what's here. And trust that underneath this something in your material life is really shifting. So that's sort of what I'm seeing here. And I think this is a beautiful read. It's going to take some trust, but you have such a beautiful, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like there's such a beautiful heart in this pile, and I want you guys to be okay with not being in a lot of clarity right now. It's coming. That's what this whole stone is about in that sattva. Like the clarity is coming. It just so happens that you have to get down in the trenches and really find some inner truths for that clarity to emerge. So don't panic about outer world feeling a little unsure right now. Really dig into that inner world. Really know that that is just as valuable. This is actually saying this is more valuable right now to you than anything in the outer world. And that shift in the outer world will begin to match it the more work you do here. So that's what I've got for you guys. Thanks, pile 3. Hello, pile 4. If you picked this pile, you picked the Lemurian quartz. Before I get into the cards, I wanted to spend a little time talking about the energy I felt in shuffling your cards and integrate a little bit from this stone as well. So I really initially felt so much deep inner knowing of like, I guess I'll say like, I feel like you are my pile of like pleasure hounds. It's like, you know how to enjoy life. You know what's beautiful. You know what's worth waiting for. You have patience. You like the good things. You know what's valuable to you and in the world, and you're willing to wait. But in tandem with this stone, I also feel like you might be in a bit of a limbo right now, but in like a good way. There's like something gestating, and I think you know that because you're like, I just felt like so in touch with my body and how it felt and how I wanted to feel. So I feel like you know when your body is like processing something and you have that patience with it. So I do feel like you're like in a bit of a dreamland and you're kind of processing, like, you know, gestating maybe something, and a lot of people will get impatient with that kind of a phase. But I feel like you're just kind of I don't know, like relaxing into it and being like, hey, maybe this is my chance to just sort of like relax in life right now. So if that's not where you are, I feel like that's a message. Possibly we'll see what your cards say, but that might be a message from your higher self, is it's time to just kind of like relax a bit right now and let your processes do their thing. Okay, so we have 2 oracle cards to start out that are kind of going to give us an overarching message from spirit of what we're focusing on. And then I have 3 groupings of 2 cards from the tarot with 3 messages. They have tended to relate to each other. It's sort of almost like a story playing out. That tends to be how I read tarot, is there's always like a narrative. But I was wondering if there would be a pile where it was like, felt like very separate messages, but not quite yet. So we'll see what happens for you. Most likely they'll connect. And then with each of the messages, even if they do connect, I will ask Spirit for some clarification with a card too, if there's anything it wants to add into what higher self is saying. Okay, so your oracle cards, the void. Yeah, that kind of matches. I guess the void and gestation could be sort of like the same thing. Something is, forming. We have no idea what it is yet, but there might be some surrender going on here. I feel like the void is like time to dream your life into imagination, like dream new things into imagination, like use that ability you have with your body and your senses, your pleasures, to dream a new world into being. Vishuddha. Okay, so this actually this gives us a bit of a clue of what this is about, maybe what's gestating, what we're dreaming into life, what we're kind of evolving in yourselves right now is something with your throat chakra. So the throat chakra, look at all this blue. It totally is and even my ring. Okay, so throat chakra stuff going on. There may, take this opportunity in this void time, if that is what you're experiencing or if it's about to come up, to do, I almost want to say do physical practices. Find some YouTubes or join I don't know, there's all sorts of Kundalini yogas which really work with chakras to work on your throat chakra. Which is all about expression, but not it goes so much deeper to me. So this is where we translate our inner life to the outer world, and we take the outer world in to integrate with our inner life. And so many of us have such issues with authentic expression. Either we don't know how to listen and take the world in and match, not that we have to mold to the world, but you need to be cognizant of what's around you, what people are feeling, what's happening in the world, what are the big ideas at the moment, paying attention to how others are feeling. That can affect what we should be feeling sometimes too. Or it can be the reverse, where a lot of us have issues with really translating what's inside of us into the outer world. And for most of us, one or both of those channels really struggles. So take this time in the void to really do some physical practices, get in touch, feel your throat chakra, do some chanting, do some journaling that both focuses on what you noticed about others around you, what you noticed about the world, and then what's inside of you, and see how you can, how these things can integrate. So just really working on listening and expressing, but in playful ways. This is dream time. Don't stress about it. Don't be hard on yourself about it. Find some pleasurable ways to do this. You really, I don't know, that's just when I was shuffling, I really felt like you really wanted to be in your bodies. So some yogas, some meditations, some chanting, singing. You don't even have to do these spiritual things. Maybe you just want to sing in your shower and in the car, or to everyone. I don't know how brave you are. But just experiment with your voice in a way that's not like trying to be or do anything. Just experimenting, just feeling it to help you imagine. So that's where I'm feeling like this tarot story is going to kind of be controlled by these messages from higher self. Let's check this first one and see what we have going on. Generosity and temperance. Okay. Yes. So whether it's that you've created some stability in your life, or there are other people in your life that have the stability that are very happy to share with you. You have a solid foundation right now to do this work. If it doesn't feel so, maybe, change your perspective, look around, think about this a little more. But I feel like for most of you, there should be a comfortable stability that you have to kind of jump into this dreamland. And some of this work, so temperance in reverse, I think is like an assignment from your higher self of like what you're needing to work on in this void place around your throat is the integration of the external and internal. It is saying, like I said, usually we have one or both of those off. I feel like most people in this reading have one of them off, and we're needing to integrate these better. So is it listening you have a hard time doing? Do you take in the world around you? Or do you have a really hard time putting yourself out there and like interpreting in your expressions who you really are, that your truth? I feel like for most of you it's one or the other, not both, but you'll probably know if what it is for you. But this is a time to not, don't stress about this. Play with it. Just start noticing it, being aware of it, and tapping into it physically is really going to help you to notice which one's off and start using it and practicing something around that aspect of voice, of throat chakra. And getting like writing stories. I don't know if you're a writer, writing stories, singing, like just use I don't know, use your throat physically somehow in this. So yogas, meditation, singing. If you're needing to listen better, it's like memorizing someone else's story, memorizing a song that someone else has written, creating a poem from someone around what you've heard them concerned about. I don't know, just like get creative though. Just play in this space. Okay. Oh, before I turn that over, let's get a message from Spirit about this. I'm just gonna, there are too many cards there. Just one card, Spirit. Let's see. Ooh. Okay, Justice. Okay, so I feel like this is saying, Spirit is saying, if you don't know already, you will know really soon which one is off and which one needs to be balanced, and you may have a little bit of karma to face here. If you're someone who talks over others, this may come back to bite you right now. Or if you're someone who doesn't speak up for yourself, you may be getting overlooked or something, but some karma is coming around that is going to, it's not a big deal. It's just indicating to you where you need to do this work. So don't take it too hard. But something I do feel like, whether it's already happened or is about to, you're going to be really aware of this. Like, where is maybe like some challenge or conflict, or where you feel like you're getting your, butt handed to you somehow. Don't take it too hard, but integrate this. Like, are you needing to listen better, or are you needing to communicate and speak up for yourself better? I feel like something's going to happen that's really going to help. Spirit is doing this, bringing this forward just to help your time in the void of really harmonizing this throat energy. So it's for your benefit. It's not happening, it's happening for you. Okay, so let's look at the second message. Okay, movement and Ace of Discs upside down. Okay, so I don't know. I'm feeling like this is, because we have a general reading, we have a lot of different people in this read, and I feel like there's two scenarios here that are very different. And I actually feel like this is a slightly different message than this, which is interesting because we haven't really had that yet. There is some rapid action happening, and this is either about new projects, new jobs, a new source of income, or a new source of like connection to your physical world. That this, movement is coming really quickly, but it hasn't quite, like, I feel like this is saying like you're almost out of this void like place, and this new thing is coming, but it's not quite ready yet. So be patient. For others of you, this may be rapid action to get you to let go of an old way of valuing yourself, or an old way of bringing your income in, or how you even think about income or budgeting. But like, there may be something that happens that kind of like bitch slaps you a little bit. I hate saying that, but that is saying like you need, like, stop this action in the world. You need to like be in this calm, beautiful place, and this is not aligned right, and it's going to stop whatever that is, for the better. Something better will gestate in this void. I feel like for most of you, it's saying that like there is a lot in motion, and you're almost out of the void, and something new is coming. And actually, both of them could work as the same read in a way. Okay, let's see what Spirit has to say about this, if we can clarify anything. The universe. This is the Wheel of Fortune. Yep. So fate, this is the card where fate, oh, hold on guys, I think my battery's dying. Okay. This is the card where fate is stepping in. Something outside of your control is, oh no, wait, this is the World. Sometimes these cards mess me up because they have different titles. This is the World, not the Wheel of Fortune, I was thinking. So, end of a cycle. Big end, big, yeah, I mean, it makes sense that you're in the void. Something new is gestating. You've come to the close. That to me clarifies, for the majority of you, this is about like, there is a lot of stuff with this Eight of Wands. These are all like things in motion, and they're all going to hit at once. I feel like a chapter has closed, and there's a lot of potential things swirling, but nothing specific, because in the void it's a little bit like nebulous. There's a lot of like inspiration that bubbles up, and then it's like nebulous again, and you go through this cycle of like ebb and flow of inspiration, exhaustion, inspiration. So I feel like there's a lot in motion, and you're having a lot of these moments of inspiration, and like putting a lot like new ideas into motion. But with the world upside down, like, you're not out of the void yet, and this new thing that's going to spring up, this new source of value and material connection to life, is they're so close, but they're just not quite here yet. So this is just a confirmation. Be patient, enjoy the inspiration, let yourself rest. If there's exhaustion, it'll probably ebb and flow a lot. So I feel like this is a slightly different message about than this pile, like I felt was really about the throat chakra, and I feel like this one was a little bit more about the void situation. Okay, let's look at your last pile before my battery dies. Oh, beautiful. Okay, I love the Queen of Wands. She's one of my favorites. And I love that this deck gives her this title of vibrancy. She is just like, this is what's coming. I feel like this is a future a message of what's coming if you stay the course, if you do these works. Of just like a very alive you. Look at her throat chakra too. It's like I know she's not singing, but it looks like she's about to preach, but she's also really receiving the world. She is in that, like, I've actually never like looked at her in relation to the throat chakra, but like that is beautiful. Like, I feel like she's ready to preach and she's taking it all in and she's alive, and that's where you're about to get to. 9 of Wands. I want to say with this, don't, like, there's so much in motion, and when this new cycle starts, this new thing that's coming, don't put too much on your plate at once. It may feel exciting and like you have all the energy in the world to do so, and you kind of do with the Queen of Wands, but just be mindful of like how much you're putting on your plate, because this card can indicate, like, just that you're holding a lot, really. Okay, so I feel like this is a future read. It was a little bit cohesive, but I feel like yours had the most kind of separate messages, which is cool. Okay, let's see what Spirit wants to add to your higher self in this last message. Yeah, Prince. Okay, Prince of Discs. I love this with the coming from the Ace of Discs upside down, where I have this feeling like some new big value source of some value is coming to you. Matter, body, environment, finances, all are one of those. And then we have the Prince of Discs here, who also has so much energy. You can put a lot on your plate, but just, be mindful. But I feel like this is Spirit saying, like, you have the energy and you have a lot of reliability. So this indicates to me that you are taking this throat chakra thing seriously, and you are taking time, like with your stone, and with the way I felt when I was drawing your cards, of like luxuriating in this and doing the work and like being playful with it and imagining this new life, and like whatever births here, you have the energy, you have the intuition, and you may put a lot on your plate, but you have the energy to do so if you want to. For others, it might be a warning of like, because I do feel like you're like a luxurious crowd, like some of you may not love a lot on your plate, so like don't have eyes too big for your stomach when this new cycle, you'll know when it comes up, but like remember how much you like to have some, like, a little bit of time and luxury and stuff. So even though you have this excitement, just find some balance with that. So that is where I'm going to leave you guys. Beautiful reading, pile 4.